Welcome to the New School of Marketing podcast, the place for smart, simple strategies that will amplify your business results. Sharing practical tips, insider knowledge, and actionable advice because marketing is something that every business owner can do. Now, let's get started. Introducing your host, Bianca McKenzie, mum, lover of snow sports, camping, horse riding, and in-demand launch strategist and Facebook advertising knowledge bank.
Hey there, I hope you're well, and thanks for tuning in to the New School of Marketing podcast. So, as I'm preparing this podcast, I have a sick toddler at home, and thankfully it doesn't happen very often, but when it does, I'm always reminded that one of the reasons of running my own business is that I can be there for my little one when she needs me. I love what I do, but I love the freedom even more. It's just so good to have that balance. Anyway, in today's episode, I want to talk to you about marketing goals. I'm not sure if you set goals in your business and if you specifically set marketing goals, but hopefully after today's episode, you will. So I generally do my planning and goal setting in November or December of the previous year. Although I have to say this year I was a bit late because of the pandemic. It had me just all shaken up and it was kind of hard to see where things were going. And I found planning really hard because everything got thrown out last year. And right now, it's kind of still the case for many of us, but I've actually adapted and I now plan only 3 to 6 months ahead instead of 12. And I still have the overall big picture and the 12-month plan in my head, but then I do my planning every 90 days and every month. I will literally sit down every month and I review my plans and I write down all the things that I want to achieve that month because things just keep changing and I feel the need to be more flexible. So what exactly are marketing goals and how do you set them for your business? Well, the way I see marketing goals is that they are part of your marketing strategy or your marketing plan. And generally, marketing goals fit into 5 categories. Number 1 is to raise brand awareness. Number 2 is to generate high quality leads. Number 3 is to grow and maintain authority. Number 4 is to increase customer value. And number 5 is to empower staff or customers to become brand ambassadors. When I work with small businesses, they often only focus on one or a few of these, and often they don't create an overall strategy that incorporates them all. So your short-term focus will probably be on building awareness and generating sales, but there are so many other opportunities available. I especially love the goal of increasing customer value because it doesn't require you to do all the heavy lifting of getting customers to find you, get to know you, then like and trust you before they decide to purchase. Because let's be honest, that is hard work and the majority of our audience won't actually buy from us. Only around 2 to 4% of our audience will spend money in our store, and only 1 to 3% purchase our online courses. So you're doing an absolute ton of work upfront for a very small conversion percentage. And that is just the way it is. Those are the average percentages of conversions. And if yours are higher, then that is absolutely awesome. But if it's not, if it is around that, you are not doing badly. It's just that is just the way it is. So rather than focusing solely on brand awareness and generating new leads, why not come up with strategies to increase the customer value of your existing customers? These are the people that have already bought from you. They already know, like, and trust you. So how can you get those people to spend more money in your store and ultimately become brand ambassadors? So when you're setting goals for your business and you're creating a marketing plan, try to incorporate the 5 different categories of marketing goals. And inside each of these categories, you can pretty much specify what you want that to look like for your business. For example, by setting a goal to raise brand awareness, you can tie that into your social media content and set measurable goals, such as the increase of followers in numbers, increase in engagement, and or a higher number of DMs, for example, in Instagram. And the reason I'm mentioning this is that I see a lot of business owners posting on social media for the sake of posting, but there's often not really a clear intention behind the posts. So if you constantly post to sell, you're missing out on what social media is all about. It's about being social and building relationships and communities. You'll probably see that if you do your sales post and nothing else, you might get some, likes on your post on Instagram, but there's no engagement. There's absolutely nothing else. And most of the time, people just like that actual image that you're posting. So when setting your marketing goals, you should be intentional about what you post and how it fits in with your overall business goals. If you haven't set any marketing goals for your business yet, now is the perfect time to do so. I know that we are well into the year, but we'll be going into Q4 soon. And generally, this is one of the busiest times for marketers because everyone wants to slice the pie. We're leading up to Christmas. Everyone will be out there marketing. And shouting into the void in Q4 isn't going to do anything for your business. If you want to connect with your ideal customers, you need a strategy to stand out from the crowd. My clients that have the highest launch sales or store sales are the ones that put a lot of thought and personality into their socials and their email marketing. They're not simply posting sales posts. They are building relationships by being personable. So how can you set marketing goals for Q4 that will actually get you results? Well, let's work on it together. Grab a pen and a paper, or do it later if you're not currently sitting down. I don't want any accidents, but we can do this right now. So, of course, your goals need to fit in with your overall business goals and your marketing strategy. You know your business best, and you know what you'd like to achieve in the next 90 days, even if you haven't really written it down yet. But we're going to do that right now. With that in mind, let's look at the 5 categories and work on setting our marketing goals. All right, I hope you've got your pen and your paper. Let's start. Number 1, raise brand awareness. So brand awareness is usually a tricky one, as traditionally it's very much about big brands and how well people know them and can recall them in certain situations. But let's look at what it means for small businesses and how you can work on your brand awareness. Not everyone is going to remember your brand or recall it, on the streets and in a survey, but there's a lot we can do as small brands. So the main aim for brand awareness is to be known for something and for your ideal customer to think of you when they need that specific thing that you provide. For example, I've become known for Facebook advertising. That doesn't mean that I can't offer other services, but I'm known for one thing. If you mention my name to someone in the business space and they have heard of me before, they will know that it is for Facebook advertising. So when marketing yourself, it's a really good idea to focus on one thing so that you can become known for that. So think about what you do. What is one thing that you'd like to be known for? Then focus on creating brand awareness content that only points to that one thing. It doesn't mean that you can't offer other things, but it is so much easier to become known for one thing than it is to do 50 million things and try to market all of that. So in how many ways can you talk about that one thing? Think about how you can educate people about that one thing. Think about how you can inspire people with your one thing. Think about how you can showcase client results or testimonials about your one thing. And in how many ways can you tell a story about your one thing? To create brand awareness, you want to focus on telling people about your one thing without trying to sell your one thing, or at least not all the time. So take some time, write down that one thing that you want to be known for. Then we get on to the next one, generate high quality leads. And lead generation is my absolute favorite thing to do. Actually, most of my advertising clients come to me for lead generation because they know the value of getting someone into their community so that they can build relationships and nurture them until they are ready to purchase. Lead generation is not just about getting numbers on your database, though. It's about getting the right people onto your database. And I know that most businesses want to make sales, and I'm totally on board with that. I want to make sales too, but I know that not everyone is ready to purchase right away. In fact, The majority of people will not be ready to purchase when they first discover your business. That's just the way it is. On average, it takes 7 to 12 touch points before someone is ready to buy. So that means that they need to see or hear about your business 7 to 12 times before they might be ready to buy. So how can you attract someone to your business and keep in touch with them until they are ready to buy? And this is why lead generation is so important. So when creating your content, think about how you can build relationships with your audience so that they'll want to follow you and read your posts as well as engage with you. Because you already know that they won't buy immediately. You need to think of ways to get them to come back so they see more of your content. And ideally, you want them on your email list so that you have more control over getting them to see your content. So, how can you get them interested enough to join your list? That's one thing that I want you to work on. And also work on creating content to invite people to join your community. All right. The next one is to grow and maintain authority. Well, as part of your marketing goals, you want to focus on building authority in your niche. Remember that one thing that I was talking about? It is closely linked to brand awareness, but this is more about you and your personal brand. So you want to be known as the go-to person for what you offer. And while brand awareness has a place on social media and content creation, building authority comes more from things like public speaking. So how can you build authority in the next 90 days or in Q4? Well, think about things like guest blogging, being a podcast guest, being featured in a magazine or a newspaper, or maybe do some public speaking, even virtually. And it might be scary at first, but once you've done it once, you kind of get into it and you want to do it more. At least that's how it was for me. So find some publications, podcasts, or other media outlets that align with your work and your audience without being in direct competition. Then write your pitch by focusing on how you can contribute to the publication's audience. Don't make this about you, make it about them. I get so many emails from, I would like to say people who want to be on my podcast, but I know that they just get someone else to do it for them. And it is so impersonal and it's all about them. I'm like, I don't care. I want to know what you can offer my audience. It's not about them. I'm not there, like this podcast is not there to lift them up and be like, a beam for them. I want people on my podcast that are going to offer value to my listeners, to you. And so this is how I want you to think about this as well. It is about them. How can you serve a portion of your audience? And by doing that, you are building authority. You are speaking to people or writing to people and becoming known for something because you offer value. So write your pitch and then send them. You've totally got this. All right, the next one is to increase customer value. And as I said earlier, it's one of my favorites because you've already done the hard yards by winning these customers over. Now think about how you can increase the value. How can you sell more or sell something else to them as well? And I want you to brainstorm a few ways to sell something else or to sell more to your existing customers. So maybe you're an e-commerce store and you have matching products. For example, your customer purchased earrings and you have a matching necklace. Try to upsell that. Or maybe you're a course creator and you've sold someone a course. You could offer them some one-on-one time as an upsell, or potentially a group workshop, or even a done for you or done with you version. So brainstorm ways to increase the customer value. And the last one, number 5, is to empower staff or customers to become brand ambassadors. So if done right, your staff and your customers can be so in love with your business that they will tell others about it. And it's such an honor when that happens. It's so amazing when you've done such a great job that others want to recommend your brand. So think about how you can get more people to spread the word about your business. And as a side note, The most important thing about this is that you need to offer an exceptional product and absolutely stellar customer service. People want to talk about businesses that they had a good experience with just as much as they want to warn others about a bad experience. So how can you give your customers and staff the best possible experience? And sometimes you can set up agreements and arrangements like influencers and things like that. But I've always found that if you give such a good experience, people will talk about you without you having to prompt them. So start brainstorming how you can give your customers and your staff the best possible experience. Wow. Okay, that was quite the exercise, and I hope you got something out of that. Setting marketing goals might not be your favorite thing to do, but it's so incredibly important for your business. After all, how are people going to find you if you don't tell them about it? And that's what marketing is. You're telling people about your business. So keep your ideal customer in mind and focus on building relationships. As long as that is your main focus, you'll be building longevity into your business. All right, well, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of the New School of Marketing podcast. I hope it was helpful, and I can't wait to share more with you next week. If you're ready to take your business to the next level with Facebook and Instagram advertising, make sure you visit newschoolofmarketing.com to download practical free resources, plus subscribe to the podcast and never miss an episode. I can't wait to go on this journey with you. Until next time, take care and market your business every day.